ओमज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनाशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी इति नामिनि। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणि निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणि। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। So I welcome all to this Bhagavad Gita class, weekly Gita study class. So we have been discussing chapter 2nd from Bhagavad Gita, and in that second chapter, Krishna is explaining the knowledge of soul to Arjuna, and Krishna is explaining from the verse 11 to verse 30 to Arjuna that we are not this body, but we are the spirit soul inside that body. So now today we are going to end this section by discussing last two verses of this section, 29 and 30. So this verse is one of the very important verse in the Bhagavad Gita and very interesting verse. I would say this sloka as the most amazing sloka of Bhagavad Gita. Let's try to understand how Krishna is explaining about the knowledge of soul. 2.29. आश्चर्यवत् पश्यति कश्चिदेनम् आश्चर्यवद् वदति तथैव चान्यम् आश्चर्यवच्चैनमन्यः शृणोति श्रुत्वापि एनं वेद न चैव कश्चित्. So in each line, if you see, Krishna is telling that how this soul is so amazing soul, so such an astonishing soul. The first line, Ascharyavat pasyati kaschid enam. So enam means this soul. In Sanskrit, enam means this soul. Kaschid means some people say. Some people say what? Ascharyavat pasyati. Some people see. Pasyati means seeing. Some people are realizing. Some people realize that this soul is such an amazing soul, such a surprising thing. Some people realize like that. And then the second line, Ascharyavat badati tathaiva chanya. Anya, some other people, Anya, what badati? Badati means speaking. In Sanskrit, vadati means speaking. Some other people, they speak. What they speak? This soul is Ascharyavat. This soul is such an amazing soul, such an surprising thing. So some people speak about this soul like that way. What an amazing object it is. This is the second category. The third category, Ascharyavat chainam cha enam anya sranoti. Anya, again, some other people, sranoti. Sranoti means what? Sununa, hearing. Srunoti means hearing. Some people, they hear about this soul and they say that this soul is such an amazing thing. It's amazing. In this way, there are three categories of people. Some realize that this soul is an amazing object, and some see that, speak about this soul that it is such an amazing object, and some hear about the soul that it is an amazing object. So now, because Krishna is concluding the section, so he's literally like a poetic way he's telling now, this soul is such an amazing, surprising thing, because already all the qualities of the soul Krishna has already narrated. Srutvapi enam vedana chaiva kaschit. So Krishna is telling Srutvapi enam. So whether you are hearing about the soul, or whether you are speaking about the soul, or whether you are seeing about the soul, whatever you are doing, Srutvapi enam vedana chaiva kaschit. You know that this it is totally not so easy to know about the soul, because people may say so many things about the soul. but very rare people they can understand about the soul. That is Krishna is telling. Srutvapi enam veda na chaiva kasti. Na chaiva kasti. No one actually knows about the soul. Everyone thinks that I know everything. But very rare people actually knows that what is the soul. That is what Krishna is telling. So then how a person will know that about the soul? So Acharya say that when a person's heart becomes clean from all anarthas, that is the time he can understand about the soul. So because this is a very interesting sloka, so all the acharyas, almost whatever Gita I am just explaining, it is based on three acharyas commentary. So one of the acharya is Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. He is one of the famous acharya in our Gaudiya Vaishnava Parampara. And his disciple, Baladev Vidyabhushan, he also wrote his commentary on Gita. I also explained that also I covered. And the third one is His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, the founder Acharya of ISKCON. So based on these three Acharyas commentary, we are discussing Bhagavad Gita. Because these are the three prominent Acharyas, they are from our Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. So generally we cover the commentary from these three Acharyas. Okay, so let's try to understand the commentary of Baladev Vidyabhushan. So he is telling why people say that soul is amazing. What is the reason behind that? Because in the slogan it's amazing, amazing, surprising, Ashcharya, 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 Ashcharya. What is the reason why you are telling Ashcharya? So he's clarifying. So he's telling that just see the soul is such a small particle. So small, eh? It stays in the heart. Such a small particle, but the consciousness of that soul is spread across the body. The size of the soul is the same what we have in our heart, and it is the same what an elephant has in his heart, and it is the same what a whale have in his heart. Just imagine. So the same minute soul, 1/10,000 part of an tip of one hair, that is staying in a heart of a blue whale, and the whole body was conscious of that soul. Can you imagine what kind of the soul is? So suppose you have to pump the water in a big reservoir, you need a big pump, right? To pump because the amount is more. But the soul is the same soul that is remaining in every body, and it just surcharges the whole body with its consciousness. So the consciousness is the quality, the characteristic of the soul. So you may not see the soul, but you know the body is moving, the hand is moving, you are talking, means you are conscious of your body. So this is the proof of presence of soul in the body. Krishna is studying. So this is one of the surprising thing. Eh? The soul is such a small particle, but it is lighting the whole body. The body of a microorganism, virus, the body of a ant, the body of a tiger, the body of an elephant, the body of a blue whale. But the soul is the same one particle. So this is quite surprising, right? So this is one of the reasons. And then he is telling, though having had a relation with many bodies, it is untouched by those transformations. Now just see, now we have the body of a human being, right? But we don't know what body we had in our previous life. That is, don't know. Eh? We may be an ant, or we may be a tiger, or we may be a cow. That is totally unknown to us. But Krishna is telling the same soul has passed in all those bodies. The same soul has passed in all those bodies, and all those bodies, people has done so many things, right? So many sometimes nonsense activity also you might have done, we don't know. So whatever we have done, good or bad activity, the soul is totally unaffected with that. That is totally one of the surprising things. Sometimes suppose if you are putting mud in the water get muddy, right? Because you are mixing mud. Suppose you are put red color in the water become red. The common sense. But soul is not like that water. Although the soul is a filthy worm in a stool, but the soul is not affected. It is beyond the material thing. It is because the soul is made of antimatter. It's not a matter, it's a spirit. And the spirit and the matter cannot mix with each other. It's like an oil and water. No matter how much oil and water you put, they both want to mix. After some time, they will get separated because both are different quality. Similarly, the soul is the antimatter, spirit and the matter. Both cannot mix with each other. Whatever the may be the condition of the matter, it cannot affect the soul. That is the main point what Baladev Vidyabhushan is telling. And then he is telling, who can realize the soul? He is telling, who can realize the soul? Because here Kaschit, Kaschit, Kaschit in the sloka it comes, some. But actually, okay, who is that some person? Who is actually realizing the soul? So he's telling, actually, the person who has got the mercy of spiritual master, he can realize the soul. Baladev Vidyabhushan is telling that when a disciple is surrendered to spiritual master Guru and he gets the mercy of the Guru, by the Guru's mercy, he can realize the soul. And then he's telling, so how it happens when he gets the mercy of the Guru, his heart gets purified, his heart becomes pure. And when the heart becomes pure, then automatically he performs the prescribed duties. Whatever duty is allocated to him, he performs that prescribed duty. And then automatically he performs all the qualities like truthfulness, tapasya, austerity. And the most important thing is chanting the japa, chanting of the holy name. It is the most important thing. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This chanting of the holy name is the most important thing mentioned by the Gaudiya Vaishnava Acharya. That is how in the ISKCON temple or any of our temple, when you go, they always prescribe you to chant the holy name. Because in the Kali Yuga, it is mentioned the quickest, the first process to realize God consciousness is by chanting this holy name, this Hare Krishna Mahamantra, 16 word holy name. So when I chant this holy name, the anarthas from the heart, it gets removed, and then we can realize that we are not this body, but we are the spirit soul inside the body. That is what here Baladev Vidyabhushan is explaining. And then we are touching Srila Prabhupada's commentary. Srila Prabhupada is now explaining on this sloka. He is also telling why the soul is amazing. So he is telling it is the atomic soul that is present in the gigantic animal, that is present in the gigantic banyan tree, and that is also present in the microbic gems. Millions and billions of bacteria are there, and the same soul is present in that. So already we have discussed this point. Prabhupada is highlighting this point. And then Prabhupada is highlighting, okay, who cannot understand this soul? Prabhupada is telling who actually cannot understand the soul. So Prabhupada is telling, actually, if a person has very poor fund of knowledge, he cannot understand. Yes. If knowledge, intelligence is to become a devotee, we need a real intelligence. If you see, it is mentioned in one sloka, Krishna Bhakta Bada Chatur. The devotees of Krishna are very clever. Why? Because if a person is not intelligent enough, he cannot understand Krishna. To understand Krishna, actually we have to become intelligent. And otherwise, it's very difficult to understand Krishna. Because in general, in the material world, the Maya is always there. And Maya always makes everybody fool. But if a person is really surrendering to Krishna, means he has some intelligence and is applying his intelligence to understand Krishna, surrendering his life. So Prabhupada is telling a little intelligence is needs for a person to surrender to Krishna, and then the process of practicing. Prabhupada is telling that there should be an austerity in the life, tapasya. If there is no tapasya, it's very tough. Eating, merry life, enjoyment, smoking, drinking. So if some people are, Prabhuji, it's okay, I'll do all these things and also I'll chant. What is the problem with that? So I say that problem is Krishna doesn't have any problem. It's like you want to burn something, you are lighting the fire, and when the time is coming, the fire is really catching, you are pouring some water from the top. So it is a wastage of time, right? You are working so hard to burn that stick, and with so much of hard work, the fire at last it's catching, and it is now burning the fire sticks. And from the top, you are putting a glass of water. The fire goes there, and then again you are drying, again you are trying to burn it. So that is what the sense gratification does. When a person wants to practice Krishna consciousness, a chanting system around, following four regulated principles, so much of tapasya is doing, struggling, and somehow or other again he is falling to sense gratification. Some anukula, pratikul, some pratikul means some unfavorable activity of Krishna consciousness, but is not favorable to Krishna consciousness. He does that activity. So it is like putting water in the fire. Again, it goes down. So then it will take a long time for the self-realization. So why to do that? Krishna is telling, why not you just focus on your goal and just one pointed focus on it. Vyavasayitmaka buddhihi ekaha kuru nandana. Be one pointed focus. That is what Prabhupada is highlighting. If you want to realize soul, you can do that, but be one pointed focus. And then Prabhupada is highlighting that it's actually very rare to understand soul, because so many people, they hear, like whenever I go for any program, so many people, they sit and they hear lecture and they laugh, they clap, they become so excited. But I see very few people, they become ready to practice. Hearing is one thing, and applying that in the life is another thing. So सुनने में बहुत मजा आता है, they clap, they laugh, they hear everything, but when the time comes to apply that the real life, अरे स्वामी जी, I need actually some time. When the right time will come, I'll apply. I just have heard everything, it's in my mind, it's in my head. So when the time will come, then I will start chanting, then I will follow the rules and regulations. So it's very tough. So Prabhupada is telling, people will hear, but very few people will apply that in their life. And those people who apply in their life, it's not that all will get success. From there also very few people will get success, because Maya is also there. Suppose you want to walk in that path, so Maya Devi is also there to test it. So she will come with so many different things. Are why you are chanting so many rounds, Baba? Reduce your round, take a nice sleep, rest. Your body needs some rest. Maya Devi will tell so many proposals he will give. Are you will follow all these rules and regulations. It's not the proper time. Abhi khane pine ka time hai. Enjoy the life. When the old time will come, when you will become old, that time you will practice. So there is a tug of war between a devotee sadhaka and Maya. So that is the also job profile of a Maya. Maya thoroughly tests that person whether really he is sincere not or not. If he's not sincere, then Maya doesn't allow inside the spiritual world. Just like in the company, when I remember when I was a software engineer, I used to do coding. So after doing the coding, and when we pass the our program, deliver the project, there is to be another team called QA team, and they will test, and they will, oh, so many permutation combination they will test, and they'll find out some bug. Again, here is the fault. So again, we'll start doing coding and fix the bug. So there will be always 36 ka akada between the developing team and the testing team. because the developing team doesn't like the testing team, because they will find the fault in our work. So similarly, when a sadhaka is like developing team, he is try to progress and do the coding. But the Maya Devi is like the QA team, testing team. She is always there to find your weak point and show the fault on your face. See, you have this fault. Eh? Correct yourself. You are not eligible to go back to Godhead. So that is the Maya Devi's profile. So she is also serving Krishna only. So that actually thoroughly tested sadhaka can enter into Krishna's abode. So in one test, the QA team also, testing team also serving the project. If they will not do all this testing, then the project will not become robust, and the fault will be detected at the client side, and that is a infamous for the company. The company will not feel good for it. So before the project delivered to the client, thorough testing done inside the company. That's what the Maya thorough testing she does inside the material world before the soul was delivered to the spiritual world. So that is what the Prabhupada is highlighting here. And then at the last of the purport, Prabhupada is explaining the easiest process of understanding the soul is that accept the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. This Bhagavad Gita knowledge, what Krishna is giving to Arjuna, this knowledge is the most confidential knowledge of all the knowledge. So please accept this knowledge and apply this in your life. That was Krishna is telling. And then he's telling while practicing spirituality, a certain finance austerity one should do. Because I remember in the Leelamrita when I was reading, so in the initial days, Prabhupada used to tell all his devotees, eat till your neck. Right? Eat your prasad till your neck. Enjoy, eat. And devotee used to eat like anything. And later, after around 10 years, after 7, 8 years, Prabhupada used to chastise. Why you are eating so much? Eh? Yukta ahara, yukta viharasya. Yukta ahara means eat appropriately. Yukta ahara, balanced eating. Not too much, not too less. Devotee used to wonder, oh my God. In the initial days, Prabhupada used to tell, eat till the neck. Now he's chastising why you are eating more. Eating 25 chapatis. Are you a man or an animal? Eat properly so that whatever your body needs, eat that much so that you can have a proper, nice sleep, and then you can wake up in the early morning, the Brahma Muhurta, and chant the rounds. If you eat 25 chapati, you will need lot of time to sleep, rest, digest it. You can't wake up in the early morning. Come on. So for that, this tapasya is very much is helpful for sadhana. So we should eat that much is needed for the body to function. More than that, if we eat overeating, that will become a burden to our body, and that will become simply a time waster. That's what Prabhupada is highlighting, that those who are interested for Krishna consciousness, they should balance their life, and this every moment of the life should be useful for Krishna consciousness, and they should see that how every second of their life is engaged in Krishna consciousness. There should be no wastage of time in sense gratification or any other time waster things. That is, and then only when the sadhaka is so sincere in his practice, that actually attracts the mercy of Vaishnavas and Krishna, and that's how he progresses in bhakti. That's what Prabhupada is telling here. And now the last verse of this section, 2.30. The last verse of this section of the knowledge of soul from the second chapter. We'll read the sloka. Dehi nityam avadyoyam dehe sarvasya bharatah tasmat sarvani bhutani natvam sochitum arhasi. So Krishna is telling, Dehi nityam avadyoyam. Deha means body. Okay, Deha. And the person who is residing inside the body, he is known as Dehi, the soul. Okay. Dehi nityam avadyoyam. Vad karna, matlab maar dena. Avadya is never killed. Dehi nityam avadyoyam. Ayam means this soul. This soul, nityam avadya. Avadya means it cannot be killed at any circumstance. That's what Krishna is telling. This sloka is like the conclusion of this section. In one sloka, Krishna is giving. Dehe sarvasya bharata. Oh Bharata. Oh Kuntiputra Bharata Arjuna. Dehe sarvasya. And this soul is present in all living entities. Sarvasya means all varieties of living entities. Dehe means inside their body. So this Dehi, this soul, is present in all the living entities' body. Krishna is telling. Tasmat sarvani bhutani. Tasmat. Tasmat means instruction. In the Sanskrit, whenever the word tasmat comes, therefore, like in the mathematics we write na, and says proof, therefore A equal to B. Similarly, in Sanskrit also, whenever you are making a heavy statement, you say tasma, therefore. So Krishna is telling, tasmat sarvani bhutani. Bhutani means living entity. Sarvani, in all the living entity, this soul is present. Natvam sochitum arhasi, because Arjuna was lamenting that I should not kill my grandfather, my teacher. He was lamenting, right? So Krishna is now giving the conclusive statement. Tasmat, therefore Arjuna, na tvam, you should not. Sochitum, sochitum means sochna, lamentation, arhasi. You should not lament for this material body, because you are not this body, but you are the spirit soul inside the body. So this is the conclusive statement of this section from the verse number 11 to verse number 30. Krishna wanted to teach Arjuna that you are not this body, but you are the soul. Let's try to understand the commentary of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Prabhupada is telling, Lord establishes that the soul is immortal, but the body is immortal. Body is going to die, but the soul will never die. Therefore, Arjuna as a Kshatriya should not abandon his duty out of fear that his grandfather and the teacher, Bhishma and Drona, will die in the battle. So because Arjuna is a Kshatriya and his duty is to perform fighting in the war field. So the body is going to die and the soul is not going to die. The Drona and Bhishma, their body will destroy. If you will not kill, with the time they will die for sure. So anyhow, they are going to die. So why you are lamenting and you are not performing your duties for them? It's not that if you will not kill, they will become mortal. No, if you will not kill, somebody else will kill. Anyhow, they are going to die. So why for that thing you are not performing your duty, Kshatriya Dharma, to fight? Because if you will not perform your duty, then you will go to hell. So that was Prabhupada's point he's highlighting in the purport. And then Prabhupada is writing, the authority of Krishna. One has to believe that there is a soul different from the material body. Not that there is no such thing as a soul. That living symptom develop at a certain stage of material maturity resulting from interaction of chemical. So Prabhupada is blasting the scientist. Prabhupada is telling, the scientists say that there is some reaction between the chemicals and then the life comes into existence. Life comes from chemicals. So that theory Prabhupada is blasting. It's a nonsense theory that life doesn't come from the chemical, but life, the soul, is a part and parcel of the God only. It's not that with the interaction of the chemical and the soul is coming to the body and you're getting life. No, because that theory tells that there is no soul, it's a chemical only. With the interaction of chemical, you are having life. So eat, drink, marry, masti karo. What a problem, because there is no soul only. When you are dying, everything finishes. So jab tak hai, maja kar li. So that concept comes with this chemical theory. But Prabhupada is telling, sab maja interest ke saath aayega baad mein. If you will do masti now and not perform dharma, then with the interest, all the karmic reaction will come and you have to suffer. So there is soul. And then Prabhupada is telling, very important, this is the last point of Prabhupada in the purport. Prabhupada is making a very important point, practical point. Though the soul is immortal, violence is not encouraged. Somebody may say, na, soul is immortal, maar sakta na, kya problem hai? Let's kill these people. Because I am not killing them. Soul is immortal. I'm just destroying the body. So what's the problem with the killing? Prabhupada is telling, though the soul is immortal, violence is not encouraged. You cannot do violence. Then Prabhupada, but at the time of war, it is not discouraged when there is actual need of it. But now there is a war. Now there is a war between dharma and adharma. So at that time, the violence is needed. At that time, the violence is encouraged. So now we are not discouraging. So if there is a need, then do the needful. Violence is like a tool. Use it for establishing dharma. But in general, don't misuse violence. That is the point of Roga. Clear? One of the very important points. So many people, once I went to one jail, one of the inside person who was there in the jail, Kaidi, he was telling that prisoner, he was telling that, Are Maharaj, Krishna told in the Gita, na, you are not killing the body, you are not killing the soul, we are the soul, we are not the body. So there were a few groups, they were not following our Sanatan Dharma and they are doing here and there, they were telling so many nonsense activity. So we just dropped a bomb on that mob and we killed them. And Krishna is telling that the soul never dies. So, but police caught us and we are inside jail now. Voila, who told to put that bomb? Here, Arjuna, Krishna is instructing Arjuna to kill them. So Arjuna was performing because he's giving the authority. That time Krishna was the God, he was present there. So he gave the authority to Arjuna to kill them. So Arjuna was killing. So who gave you the authority to put a bomb there? So if you are in the army or a policeman, if your commander in chief tells that okay, fire and kill 10 people, that time you can kill. Somebody is giving you authority, and without having that authority from your mind, if you do something, then you will get that reaction. So that's what the Prabhupada is telling. But same time, if there is a war happening between India and some opponent enemies, and your commander is giving order, okay, shoot, and you are saying, hey, how can I kill? Violence is not good. So that time you should kill because the order is coming from the authority. So that is the main point what Prabhupada is making in the purport. The need must be justified in terms of the sanction of the Lord, not capriciously, not from your mind whimsically you do something, but it should be sanctioned by the Guru, Sadhu, Shastra. Then only one should perform the activity. And with this, the one of the very important section, and this is like the foundation of Bhagavad Gita. ABCD of Bhagavad Gita is this 2.11 to 2.30, that we are not this body, but we are the soul. Understanding this concept, we will start reading Gita from 31 sloka from next Monday. That how so many yogas now Krishna will summarize. So karma yoga, jnana yoga, ashtanga yoga, bhakti yoga. So this is the basic thing, that we are not this body, we are the soul. So this concept was clarified from the verse 11 to verse 30. Hare Krishna. So now I would request those who have questions, please unmute yourself and please ask your questions.